Big emotions from a week ago, but everything in Texas is bigger. Who will make it into victory lane today? Vic, welcome to the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series WinStar World Casino 400 on Speed.
Adam, I want to take a look at 20-year-old Colin Braun. He's from Ovalo, Texas, which is about 160 miles from here. He drives the Conway Freight Ford for Jack Roush, and he was leading the last two races at Charlotte. He got crashed leading, and at Dover, he was leading and cut a tire down. Two great runs going for Colin Braun. Nothing to show for him. Looking to get that first victory here for the 2008 NASCAR Camping Truck Series Rookie of the Year.
How about a great job for Colin Braun at Dover? And he has just had the most, well, bad luck I think you can lump onto one driver. He was in position to win that race at Dover when Kyle Busch blew the right front tire, and all of a sudden he does the same thing in the opposite end of the racetrack.
Yeah, on the same lap.
Yep.
Amazing.
So Colin Braun again trying to move back up into the top 10. He runs 13th now. Conway Freight Ford F-150. A little bit further back in the field here, Colin Braun, David Starr, and Taylor Malsom in that 81.
It's a battle for the 15th position right there. Brian Scott actually is in the 14th spot.
Brian Scott, before the race, was telling me he thought he had a really good setup as far as race runs, but he didn't think he'd qualify very well. But he hasn't really moved up in this race. Stayed back there in the 14th spot.
Yeah, this is one of the longest races that we have on the circuit at 250 miles. As we see David Starr pull to the inside of that sixth truck of Colin Braun. Looks like he's going to be able to take that spot.
Starting to see Colin Braun and that Conway Freight Ford F-150 make his way toward the front.
He's got a nice run off that corner from the high side. He was able to keep that truck wound up and was able to get by a couple trucks, Rick Crawford being one of them, and looked like maybe TJ Bell the other.
You see Colin Braun to the inside of Mike Skinner. Colin Braun trying to get by Skinner for the 6th spot on the racetrack. Looks like he will do that when they went across the start-finish line. Skinner continuing to run that high line here at Texas.
But I think his truck is definitely better than it was on the first run. Remember, he was falling back pretty much outside the top 15 on that first run, and he's been able to maintain a top 10 run here. Lost that 6th spot to Colin Braun just now.
Tires are on for the Conway Ford for Colin Braun. He gets away, and boy, it is very, very tight down here on this end of pit road as these guys come in getting different things. Track bar adjustment for the Conway Ford and fuel for Colin Braun that time. Mark that down at lap 104. And they were talking about his truck being very, very tight in the center. Track bar adjustment should certainly help that as they raise the track bar. That should loosen him up, guys.
How about that 3 wide situation right there? Jason White, the 23, getting by the 60 as well as the 6 of Colin Braun. Adam not only top out in that 30 truck, but the 6 of Colin Braun. Those two guys are rolling the dice.
Can they make it? 42 laps remain at Texas Motor Speedway, the great American Speedway. The fans are in for a great show here tonight. Again, out front, it's Todd Bodine, then Colin Braun, Johnny Benson, Matt Crafton.
Johnny Benson just took over the 2nd spot from Colin Braun. That one truck. Here comes Matt Crafton trying to take over 3rd.
Diving into turn number 1. Those two continuing to battle on the racetrack.
Matt got a little bit loose.
Look at Todd Bodine jetting way down the racetrack, down the backstretch.
Just trying to make sure that Hornaday cannot use the draft off him. Crafton's going to pull to the inside of Colin Braun again in a battle for 3rd.
All the way out now. Leave him out the dry down.
Side by side. Crafton on the inside. Colin Braun on the outside. Here comes the 14 of Rick Crawford. Crawford's going to throw his name in the hat once again.
And there's Johnny Sauter, our pole sitter, early leader, right behind Rick Crawford.
Johnny Sauter early on in this race led the first 42 laps before the caution came out. And then it was handed over to Ron Hornaday, who dominated for 55 laps. And then Crawford took over for a while. 17 laps led.
Really nice right there. Really, really nice. Quick work when we get there.
Side by side here. Crafton. Then it's Colin Braun, Mike Skinner.
Remember, Mike Skinner's a lap down. Right now, Ron Hornaday is the 1st truck 1 lap down. Mike Skinner, the 2nd truck 1 lap down.
Ray, what are they talking about with the 16?
Well, these guys were very, very loose in the middle of the race, guys. And on 102, they came down, put 4 tires on, then came and got fuel that time. But when we pitted on this last round of pit stops on 124, they put on 4 tires and did not come back down the second time to get that track position. They did make a wedge adjustment, however, on that Conway Ford, and Colin Braun says he likes the way this truck is handling much, much better. Mike Beam telling him no problem with fuel to go to the end here. Just run your race and let's get a good top 5.
Todd Bodine will win at Texas again. 5 times for Bodine.
Great run for Matt Crafton on runner-up finish. With Ron Hornaday's problems, we could have Matt Crafton as our point leader.
Unofficially, Matt Crafton has taken over the top spot from Ron Hornaday. But what a run for Matt Crafton. What a great run for Todd Bodine. Colin Braun with a 3rd place finish today.
Matches his career best. So good job by Mike Beam and all his Roush Fenway guys.
Best run of the season for Colin Braun, and if you keep putting together runs like this, it's just a matter of time before you're the one celebrating at the end of the night.
Well, I sure hope so. You know, all the guys in the number 6 Conway Freight Ford F-150 certainly deserve it, and I feel like tonight kind of screwed up there at the end. You know, I told them to tighten my truck up a little bit. We were fighting free the whole day or the whole night, and just a little bit too tight at the end. Unfortunately, that restart didn't go the way we wanted it to. I think not having any Ford buddies up there being laps down hurt us a little bit, but I feel like this is a really good day for points for all of these guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.